Hi, Miss Bunton.
Hey. Okay, the talking skull on Common Lit. Let me write that, type that here.
Hi, Miss Bunton.
Okay.
Do you know how, like, certain parents don't like their children on certain sites?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, my aunt don't like me on TikTok. Well, she just found out, I guess, but I have TikTok and she don't like that I'm on it. But TikTok has good stuff you can use. Like,
Well, it doesn't matter. The problem with TikTok, and Miss Wonderly has spoken about this, you have freakazoid people out there. I mean, people that you wouldn't imagine, well, you probably can't imagine, that they only want to search out kids that are like you. And I'm not going to say that TikTok is all good or all bad, but I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody were going to use TikTok, it better be in, you can use it on my phone, the adult phone, and I can monitor what's happening. But unfortunately, because TikTok allows any Tom, Dick, or Harry and the weirdos on there, they like people that like abusing children. And no, that's not cool. And it's been investigated many, many times, and they still have not put firewalls up to prevent that. So,
well, I don't talk to anyone on TikTok. I just like scroll through and look at this stuff. But it's actually got some like a good, useful stuff. Like instead of spending a whole bunch of money to get a shirt with like a cool look on it, you can print it out and cut out those sides, and then put saran wrap and I forgot what the other thing was on it, and then put it up at whatever shirt you want to put it on and just iron it in.
Hi, Dr. Pepper Rolls.
Jagger, I got news for you. There's other sites that do that too, not just TikTok. So you're not helping your argument here. I'm going to side with your aunt. Sorry.
There are millions of people at our school that can vote because there are more students than teachers. A lot of students can outvote the teachers. That TikTok is great.
Vote away.
For me,
I don't really, I
care.
don't know why TikTok so, like,
I disagree with that, Jagger.
like, what's good about TikTok?
Excuse me? How dare you?
Yeah, for real. Like, what's so good about TikTok?
No, my daughter-in-law uses TikTok to make her funny little videos, which is fine with me. And they are funny. She does funny little videos and voiceovers and things like that. And
Oh, yeah, Jagger.
so, but
Jagger.
again, you have to have people that.
I'm making a square.
And I know the dangers of the world, so I'm careful.
Jagger.
What?
What are you gonna be doing?
Miss Bunton?
Yeah.
For your vocab?
So I couldn't make the Zoom, and I was trying to go on your YouTube page, but I couldn't find the video.
Let me look real quick because I'm pretty sure I put it there. Hold on.
Jagger, did you hear me?
Sorta.
What are you gonna do for your vocabulary skit?
I don't know. I already did it like the first day. I always do it on Monday, so I'm gonna need to turn it in again, probably because I already.
Okay.
But on TikTok there was this guy passing a silver Lamborghini in a tunnel, and it was so trippy. Hold up. Dang it, I don't have my computer.
Where is it?
How is all of this?
Okay, I'm gonna have to submit it again. Thank you, Paige, for bringing that to my attention, because I did it right after. I did it right after the session. Okay. I don't know what happened to it. That's very weird.
Oh no.
Let me. Oh. Let me see if I can
Oh,
refresh. It's right there. It says 6th grade Zoom session, Wednesday, 4:15. It is there.
sí.
So I don't know what, it's on the wrong one. Why is it on this one? It's on the wrong Zoom. Okay, I'll have to fix it.
Okay.
Oh, and the 6th grade Zoom session wasn't on the right page there either. What is going on here? This is the old page. I am not tech savvy enough to figure this out. Okay, I'll have to figure it out after we do, I'm gonna have to figure it out after we do Common Lit.
Okay.
Okay. Common Lit, Talking Skull. Okay, I'm gonna have to mute you guys. All right. And all right. So this is an article that was written by this woman that used to be like a famous actress back in the day when I was like a little kid. And she wrote this story about this dude that was walking along and finds a skull laying on top of a pile of bones, which you can see in the picture to help you understand it better. And he picks it up and the skull talks. Now this guy, he go ahead, one person right on my screen right now. Go ahead and do it and see what happens. Because I got my phone right here. I will find out who it is and then I will message your parent. Are you clear? It's rude. All right, now moving on. As you read, take notes on what the villagers think about the man in the story. Once a man was walking down the road toward his village. He was not paying attention to anything around him. This man considered himself a scholar of life. Scholar in this case means he thinks he's very educated. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. And, well, he doesn't really listen to anybody. And what he thinks is what is important is the only thing that he talks about. He doesn't really talk about anything interesting to other people. He was always deep in thought. He liked to think about important things. He did not put his mind to ordinary problems. If it wasn't impossible or at least very complicated, he didn't care about it at all. So he thinks the harder it is, the more he's going to learn about it. He doesn't care about the regular everyday life, like people going to work, people doing stuff in their house, things like that. This man spent all day looking out over the ocean and he only noticed things he thought were useful. He didn't notice the beauty of the ocean. He didn't notice the birds or the fish or anything else around him. He didn't notice that. He only noticed things that he personally thought were important. He didn't notice the beauty of the ocean. The only things he considered were sharks and shipwrecks. He didn't notice the clear blue sky. He was thinking about all the storms that must have been churning far away. He did not notice the wonderful songs of the birds. He only thought about how many of their nests had been robbed. He didn't notice the playful animals swinging through the branches or rustling in the grass. He only wondered whether or not the great cats were on the prowl. That was the kind of man he was. Guiding question number 1. The man is focused on analyzing the world rather than noticing its beauty. B, open to any new form of knowledge that he encounters. Is he open? No, he's not open to anything. He is not open to anything. Okay. Too proud to admit when he doesn't know something, or focused on the details of the world, especially their beauty. Okay. I see a lot of A's. I see a lot of A's. Okay. All right. So focused on analyzing the world rather than noticing its beauty. I like that. He is not open. He is too proud to admit he doesn't know something. That's not true. He thinks he knows everything. He thinks he knows everything. So A is the correct answer. All right, moving on. As he walked back toward the village that day, he happened to pass a pile of bones. They were bleached white and they gleamed in the bright sun. He stopped and stared down at them. He was the sort of man who would stop and stare at a pile of bones. The skull on the pile was resting above all the other bones, and it seemed to be watching the man just as intently as he was watching it. The man reached out and picked up the skull, and he held it one way and then the other, and he looked gravely into the empty eye sockets and said, "What brought you here, brother?" "Talking," the skull replied without much interest. The man was so shocked, he dropped the skull and jumped back. He watched the skull for a few minutes before he managed to stammer out, "You can talk?" "Yes," said the skull. "Talking is very easy. All you have to do is open your mouth and out it comes. Talking is easy. Finding something worthwhile to talk about is not." So the skull likes to talk a lot. His only problem is finding things he can talk about. Which of the following describes the skull's opinions on talking? You should speak the truth. It is better to always remain silent. Your words should be important, or it is important to speak respectfully to others. Okay. He said, the skull said, "Yes," said the skull, "talking is very easy. All you have to do is open your mouth and out it comes. Talking is easy. Finding something worthwhile to say is not." And I agree with you guys. You said the letter C. Your words should be important. Okay. The man was amazed. He had never seen a talking skull before, let alone one that could spout such wisdom. "I must take you to the village," the man exclaimed. He scooped up the skull and ran as fast as he could. The villagers saw him coming, and a great many of them ran for their homes. You see, he was the kind of man who was always getting busy into useless conversations when there was work to be done. He never seemed to be quiet, and he never spoke about anything anyone wanted to hear. So this man of this village, he talks a lot, but nobody wants to listen to him because the words coming out of his mouth aren't that great. They don't concern them. They're boring. They don't care about what he has to say. He never seemed to be quiet. You see, he was the kind of man who's always getting busy into useless conversation when there was work to be done. He never seemed to be quiet, and he never spoke about anything anyone ever wanted to hear. As he entered the village, he called out to his neighbors, "Come quickly, I have something wonderful to show you." No one came. The man was so excited that he did not even realize that the few people in sight were moving away from him. So right now you have this man, he wants to talk, but then all the other people are going away because they don't want to hear him, because everything that comes out of his mouth is blah, 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 blah. The man was so excited he didn't even realize that the few people in sight were moving away from him. "Put down whatever you are doing, everyone. I have a marvelous mystery to show all of you, the likes of which you have never seen." When the man said the word mystery, you can be sure he got the attention of some of the villagers. They started poking their heads out of their houses. Women left their yams cooking, men put down their digging sticks, and children stopped their playing. They all began to gather around the man. The villagers come to listen to the man because A, he has always had something interesting to say. B, they value his intelligence. C, he claims to have something unbelievable. Or D, they fear what will happen if they don't. Okay, where is your chat box? I do not see it. Is anyone typing in their chat box? Okay, show me with your fingers then. Which one do you think it is? He always has something interesting. They value his intelligence. He claims to have something unbelievable, or they fear what will happen if they don't. Yes, it's C. He claims to have something unbelievable, a mystery. When he saw that he had everyone's attention, he drew out the skull. He could not have prepared himself for what happened next. Everyone stared at the skull for a moment. They all started yelling. "Mama, what's he doing?" cried a little boy. "How dare you bring that thing here?" his mother howled, waving a spoon. "Somebody do something," said another, clutching her child. "Send him away," demanded a third mother. The men who still had gardening tools in their hands started waving them. Move out of the way, yelled a man with a digging stick. Somebody get the chief. Justin, are you paying attention? Mm-hmm. And said an old man holding his grandson's hand. There was so much commotion, the chief came to see what was happening. What's going on? The chief roared. He was a very orderly chief, and he did not like all of this yelling and brandishing of gardening tools in the middle of the village. All the people were silent except for one villager. He stood up and pointed to the man with the skull. This man told us he had something to show us. Then he pulled out that awful skull. We thought he was trying to call the dark spirits to the village, and we were trying to stop him. How do the villagers react to the skull? That means, what do they do when they see the skull? They are honored, they are afraid, they are sad, or they are worried. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, 4. They are worried about how the man could use the skull. They think that he's going to call the dark spirits. Oh, said the chief, eyeing the man with the skull. And were you going to call the dark spirits to my village? Certainly not, the scholar declared. Scholar meaning a very educated person. Glad that the chief was there. He was sure the chief would understand this intellectual matter. Then what were you doing? The chief asked with curiosity. Well, the man said in a pompous voice, I was on my way home from the ocean when I came across a pile of bones. On top of the heap was the skull, and it spoke to me. I brought it here to share this wonder with the village. The chief did not look convinced. I'll show you, the man said, raising the skull so that it looked at the chief. Say something to the chief, he commanded. The skull said nothing. The chief frowned. Speak, the man said, I command you. The skull remained silent. One of the children laughed. Speak, he said, you must speak. And the man started getting nervous. The skull said nothing. The man begged and pleaded with the skull. The skull remained silent. The people began to get angry again, and the chief got angry right along with them. You are always a troublemaker in my village, and now you come here with this nonsense? The chief and the people had had enough. They took the skull from the man, found the mound of bones he had taken from it, and put it back there. The chief agrees with the villagers because the man is clearly confused, the skull doesn't speak, the skulls call on dark spirits, or the man admits that he is trying to fool people. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 2, the skull doesn't speak. So they take it back to the pile of bones. That very day, the villagers held a meeting with the chief and decided to throw the man out of the village. They watched him collect his few belongings and said to him, since you found that skull so much company, why don't you go live with it? The man stormed out of the village and down the road to the pile of bones. He picked up the skull. Before he could get one word out of his mouth, the skull said, sorry about that. What? Now you can talk? That is not going to do me much good. Why didn't you say something back in the village? I told you, the skull replied. It is easy to talk. It is not always easy to find something worthwhile to say. You are absolutely unpleasant, the man screamed. I don't know what trouble you caused that brought you to this sorry state, but you deserve everything you got. Now here's the kicker and the learning lesson. I already told you what got me in trouble, the skull replied. Talking, same as you. The skull and the man are similar because they both talk too little, neither of them get along with others, their talking is disagreeable to others, or neither of them notice beauty. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, they're talking. Nobody likes to hear them talking. Okay, good. Assessment questions. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, you ready? Okay, here we go. Which statement identifies the theme of the short story? Theme meaning, what was the lesson that was learned by the main character? Theme, what was the message learned by the main character? You shouldn't think so highly of yourself that you speak when it's not valuable. The wisest words often come from the people we least expect to hear them from. Justin, are you listening to music right now? Maybe you should turn it off. because you're paying more attention to that than paying attention to your common lit. And what's going to happen, I'm going to make you leave the meeting and you can go do this on your own. There you go. You shouldn't think so highly of yourself that you speak when it's not valuable. The wisest words often come from the people we least expect to hear them from. It is hard to earn back someone's trust after misleading them once. Words can be dangerous. Okay. Was he speaking any words that were dangerous in letter D? Were they talking about trust in this? Were they talking about trust in this article? Were they talking about this man having the wisest words? Or were they talking about this man thinking so highly of himself, he speaks when it's not valuable to everybody else? Okay. So I see a lot of people with A. So if that's what you pick, now you got to go pick a quote that shows that. But now you got to pick 2 details. You must pick 2 details in number 2 to prove your answer for number 1. So your answer for number 1, you talking too highly, you think you're smarter than everybody else, and you talk and nobody cares what you have to say because it doesn't match what other people need to hear. You're not having a conversation. You're only telling all of this smarty farty stuff. So what are 2 quotes that show that? This man spent all day looking out over the ocean. He only noticed things that he thought were useful. He didn't notice the beauty of the ocean. The man was amazed. He had never seen a talking skull before, let alone one that could spout such wisdom. C, you see, he was the kind of man who was always getting busy people into useless conversation when there was work to be done, and he never spoke about anything anyone ever wanted to hear. Look at letter C. Doesn't that match what you picked for number 1? He doesn't talk about anything valuable. They said it's useless conversation. So that's one of your details. D, this man told us he had something to show us. Then he pulled out the awful skull. That's not talking about him talking about useless information. E, that very day the villagers held a meeting with the chief and decided to throw the man out of their village. Does that have anything with him talking? F, I told you, the skull replied. It's easy to talk. It's not always easy to find something worthwhile to say. Does that prove your theme? So you had to pick 2 details in number 2 that prove your answer in number 1. All right. Number 3 is a part A question. How does the man's reputation affect how the villagers treat him? Well, his reputation is, oh no, here comes this man who thinks he's a smarty farty, thinks he knows everything, and he's going to try to have a conversation with us, and I just don't want to listen to him. So which one is his reputation? This is what all the people think about him. The man has told several lies. Has he lied? I don't remember him lying. B, the man hasn't taken the time to help the villagers with their problems. This wasn't talking about that. The man has always spoken thoughtlessly to the villagers, which makes them less likely to believe him. That sounds like a good one. D, the man looks down on the villagers for their beliefs and discourages them from trusting him. No, that's like, hey, don't trust me. Don't trust me. He didn't say that. So the only logical answer is what? Okay, good. So part B, what's the quote that shows how the villagers react to the man? Which one shows how the villagers react to the man? When the man said the word mystery, you can be sure he got the attention of some of the villagers. They started poking their heads out of the village. That doesn't show how they like him. They don't like him. Well, the man said in a pompous voice, I was on my way home from the ocean and I came across a pile of bones. That's not talking about the villagers at all. C, you are always a troublemaker in my village, and now you come here with this nonsense? The chief and the people have had enough. Is that talking about how they feel about him? Yes, Jaden, it is. They said he's a troublemaker. That is how they feel about him, that he talks nonsense. Look at that. They think he talks nonsense. What he says is not valuable. D, they watched him collect his few belongings. Nope. That has nothing to do with number 3. All right. And number 5, how does the character of the talking skull reveal the author's point of view in the story? How does the author feel about the main character And how does the author feel about the talking skull? You will see that in the very last line of the story. Look at the very last line of the story. Okay? If you look at that, that will help you. What does the author feel about the main character? The author thinks that the main character is what? And the author also thinks this about the talking skull. Okay, guys, you ready? Everybody done? No? Okay. Another minute. We're going to move on. You guys ready now? Yep. Okay. All right. Now we are going to move on to I gotta move this out of the way. We're going to move on to feathers. Now you do need to be careful about feathers because it has, I want to say 10 multiple choice answers to it. And there's no short response. So if you guys are not listening and paying attention, it is going to cause a problem for some of you, okay? Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. Feathers. All right. Your job is to focus on this. A woman spreads a rumor. That means she heard gossip. She heard gossip and she repeated it, and she should not have. And then she blamed everybody else for saying the rumor in the first place. She blamed everybody else. Well, she repeated it, so if it wasn't true, she shouldn't have spread the rumor. All right? So a woman spreads a rumor, unaware of the consequences of her actions. Take notes on how the woman's understanding of rumors changes throughout the story. So this is another folk tale, and that's what you're working on this week. What was the moral or the lesson she learned by the end of the story? A sharp-tongued woman was accused of starting a rumor. Now, if you don't know what sharp-tongued means, it's like, like just if she's thinking something, she's going to say it. When she was brought before the village rabbi, she said, I was only joking. If you guys don't know what a rabbi is, it's kind of like a priest or a pastor in the Jewish religion. She said, I was only joking. My words were spread by others, so I am not to blame. So she said that the only reason the rumor got spread was because others repeated it. It's not her fault others repeated it. But think about this, guys. Should she have said it in the first place? I don't think so. But the victim demanded justice, saying, your words soiled my good name. Now, what does the word soiled there mean? When you say soiled, it doesn't mean like dirt out in the yard. It means you made my name look bad. You made me look bad. You gave me a bad reputation. I'll take back what I said, replied the sharp-tongued woman, and that will take away my guilt. When the rabbi heard this, he knew that the woman truly did not understand her crime. Fine, I'll take it back. But had she already done the damage? She'd already done the bad deed already. So she can't take it back. And so he said to the woman, your words will not be excused until you have done the following. Bring my feather pillow to the market square. Cut it and let the feathers fly through the air. Then collect every one of the feathers from the pillow and bring them all back to me. And when you have done this, you will be absolved of all your crimes. Now, absolved means to be forgiven. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but have you ever seen feathers fly in the wind? They go everywhere, everywhere. They don't stay still and let you catch them. They are everywhere. You will be absolved of your crime. So, guiding question number 1. How does the woman feel about the situation? Does the woman who spread the rumor, does she feel ashamed? Does she feel blameless? Does she feel angry? Or does she feel amused? How does she feel? 1, 2, 3, or 4. She feels blameless. She don't care. It's done now. She don't care what she did. Oh, well, I guess I'll just do it. Now watch what happens. The woman agreed, but thought to herself, the old rabbi has finally gone mad. Like, geez, I'm going to be forgiven if I go collect a bunch of feathers. She did as he asked and cut the pillow. Feathers blew far and wide over the square and beyond. The wind carried them here and there up into the trees and under the merchant's carts. So the feathers flew everywhere, everywhere, and this woman is supposed to collect all of them to be forgiven. The wind carried them here and there up into the trees and under the merchant's cart. She tried to catch them, but after much effort, it was clear to her that she would never find them all. She returned to the rabbi with only a few feathers in her hand. Facing the rabbi, she said, I could not take back the feathers any more than I could take back my words. From now on, I will be careful not to say anything that would harm another, for there is no way to control the flight of words any more than I could control the flight of these feathers. From that day on, the woman spoke kindly of all she had met. Guiding question number 2. The woman realizes that her words were hurtful. The rabbi has gone crazy. You can't control a rumor, or rumors are harmless. 1, 2, 3, or 4. What lesson did she learn? What lesson did the woman learn? You can't control a rumor. You can't control it. It's gone. It flies away and it goes over here and over there, and people repeat it, and it's everywhere. Okay? Assessment questions. What is the meaning of soiled as it is used in paragraph 2? What is the meaning of soiled as it is used in paragraph 2? When you say the word soiled, this woman, this victim, the one that got talked about, she said that you soiled my good name. You soiled my good name. What did she mean by that? Did she mean you involved my name, you damaged my name, you emphasized my name, or you identified my name? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, good. You damaged my name. So which two phrases, you got to select 2, shows that this woman soiled her name? Starting a rumor, I was only joking, my good name, I'll take back, take away my guilt, or understand her crime. When she says you soiled my name, you were A, that's correct, Tegan, starting a rumor. And when she says my good name. Okay. All right, everybody got that? Okay. Number 3, based on the story. Based on the story, which statement explains how starting a rumor is the same as cutting a feather pillow? How is starting a rumor just like cutting a feather pillow open? This is what the rabbi was telling her. A, both events helped. Based on the story, which statement explains how starting a rumor and cutting a feather pillow are alike? Both events helped the woman make up for things that she failed to do. No, she wasn't able to make up because she wasn't able to catch all the feathers. B, both events caused the rabbi to forgive the woman. Did the rabbi forgive the woman? C, both events scattered things that could no longer be retrieved. Did the rumor get scattered, Justin? And did the rumor and the feathers got scattered? They went everywhere. Or D, both events allowed the woman to make changes in her life. No, the pillow didn't make her make changes. Okay, good. All right, moving on. Part B, which quote provides the evidence for answer to part A? So you are looking for how a rumor gets spread, just like the feathers in the pillow get spread, scattered all over the place. How a rumor gets scattered all over the place, and how the feathers get scattered all over the place. My words were spread by others, so I am not to blame. Nope, that's not what the lady learned. And that will take away my guilt. That does not show the feathers getting scattered everywhere. The wind carried them here and there. That sounds like a pretty good one, just like the feathers. She returned to the rabbi with only a few feathers in her hand. Which one, if you got to go back to number 3, both events scattered that no longer could be retrieved. That's our answer. Both events scattered things that could no longer be retrieved. And then you go, which one scattered that could not be retrieved? Which one shows that? What do you guys think? A, B, or C? Okay, I see a bunch of 3s. Okay, so I see a lot of people choosing that detail. And that would be correct. Now we are on question number 5, correct? Question number 5 is a part A. Which statement contrasts? That means, contrast means to tell the difference. How is the woman's attitude different from the rabbi? The woman at the beginning was like, I'm not to blame. And the rabbi goes, you're the one who started the rumor. And the woman's like, but I'm not the one who repeated it. Everybody else did. So which one is that answer? A, the woman accepted no blame while the rabbi realized the significance of her crime. B, the woman trusted the rabbi, but he thought she was playing a trick. C, the woman wanted to correct her behavior while the rabbi was pleased with his own behavior. Or D, the woman thought the rabbi was wise, but the rabbi thought the woman was careless. What's the best answer there? At the beginning of the story, how does the woman feel? 1, 2, 3, or 4? It's not 4. The woman thought the rabbi was crazy, so that's not true. Okay, number 1, she accepted no blame. She did not think she was to blame for anything. She thought she was blameless. So let's find the one that kind of shows she doesn't take any blame for this. And you got to pick 2. My words were spread by others. Did she blame everybody else? Yes, she blamed everybody else. So I would not get rid of A. I would definitely keep A in the bucket. The woman agreed, but thought to herself, the old rabbi has finally gone mad. C, there is no way to control the flight of words any more than I could control the flight of these feathers. D, from that day, the woman spoke kindly of all she had met. Select 2 sentences from the story that show how the woman changes to agree with the rabbi. Oh, we got to read that question carefully. To show how the woman changes to agree. So how did she change? How did she change? Which 2 ones did she do well at the end? Tegan, I like your answer. Very good. Anybody else? What 2 letters do you think show she changed her attitude? What 2 letters shows that she changed her attitude? Okay. There is no way to control the flight of words any more than I can control the flight of these feathers. And from that day on, the woman spoke kindly to others, all she had met. So make sure you're picking what matches. Okay. And that was question 6, 7. What is the purpose of the dialogue between the woman and the victim in the beginning of the story? So at the beginning, the sharp-tongued woman was brought before like the judge, like the rabbi, saying, look what this woman did. She spread a rumor about me. She was talking bad about me, and now my name is, everyone looks at me, and now I'm embarrassed because of this woman. So what is the purpose of the dialogue? To introduce the cause for the woman's negative actions? Yes. At the beginning of the story, was it to show what the woman had done wrong? Negative, yes. To introduce the conflict that will be resolved later in the story? Uh-oh. I like that one better because it was an introduction. And it was an introduction to the conflict. And did the problem get solved by the end? Did it get solved by the end after she cut the feathers? Cut the feathers out of the pillow? To connect the woman's thoughts and actions to important events? No. To develop background? No. I think it's B is the, A is a good answer, but I think B is the better answer. To introduce the conflict that will be resolved later in the story. That means here's the problem. She spread a rumor. And how did it get solved at the end? She learns how rumors can spread everywhere. Part B, which sentence from the story makes a connection to the answer in part A? So now, if you chose in number 7, you said it introduces the conflict that's going to get solved by the end of the story. When she was brought before the village rabbi, she said, I was only joking. Okay, that's not the conflict that gets resolved at the end. The wind carried them here and there up into trees and under merchants' carts. She tried to catch them, but after much effort, it was clear to her that she would never find them all. From that day on, the woman spoke kindly of all she had met. Which one shows the solution to her problem? Which one shows that the problem got solved by the end of the story? Which one shows that the problem got resolved by the end of the story? Because on number 7, you said it shows how there was a conflict and how it got resolved by the end of the story. Which one shows how it got resolved? Which one shows how the problem got resolved? A, B, C, or D? Okay, Justin says D. Tegan, are you saying D? Or are you saying B? Some of you might want to go read the last line of the story. Some of you might want to go read the last line of the story, because at the end of the story is where there's the resolution. Okay, now I see you changing your answers. Okay, good. Number 9, part A, which statement expresses the theme of the story? Theme means what lesson was the author trying to teach? Stand up for those less fortunate? No, there wasn't anybody standing up for anybody here. Peer pressure can be a powerful inspiration. Was anybody getting inspired? I don't think so. Speak with courage, or think before you speak. What do you guys think the lesson this lady learned? What do you think the main lesson of the main character? What do you think? Kayla, I agree. Tegan, I agree. What do you think the main character learned? Here's this woman spreading rumors, and by the end of the story, she knew she had to control the words coming out of her mouth. She had to control the words coming out of her mouth. What do you guys think it is? Okay, good, Callie. All right, good. All right, so now pick a quote that shows that. Pick a quote that shows that. A sharp-tongued woman was accused of starting a rumor. B, the woman agreed but thought to herself, the old rabbi has gone crazy. Is any one of these showing think before you speak? C, she returned to the rabbi with only a few feathers in her hand. Or D, facing the rabbi, she said, I could not take back the feathers any more than I could take back my words. Which one shows she has learned her lesson? Which one shows she has learned her lesson? Think before you speak. Think before you speak. Justin, what do you think it is? Okay, good. Good, Tegan. Good, Callie. Okay. Rachel, you think you know what it is? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 4, good. All right. All right, and then that's it. All right, let me go back to stop share. All right. Any questions from anybody before we go? Any questions about anything?
Yeah.
Rafaela, you have questions?
No.
No? Okay. Did anyone have any questions about any of your assignments? Did anyone have any questions about Brightfish, the new spreadsheet that I put up there? I explained it last night. I gave a long explanation about what I did with Brightfish. Okay. And if you go on Brightfish, you can see the comment I made with the assignment. How many minutes you owe me for this week 4? How many minutes should be under the green rainbow on your screen?
I haven't been contacted on the whereabouts.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go so I can go fix our YouTube channel, because evidently it's really messed up. Bye, guys.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the book, you have to find it from Bud Not Buddy.
Okay, I don't know what assignment you're talking about, number 1.
The journal.
What in the journal? We got to page 84 today. Be more specific.
75.
75, if you clicked on the directions on Edsby, you are to choose a book to read about. Read. You choose a book to read, either from Mayan or maybe you have a book of your own. You are to read that book. You're to put the title, you're to put the author, and you're to tell me about the book after you rank it. Tell me some details about that book that you read. Okay? It's very easy. It was a very easy assignment.
All right.
You're not to tell me about Bud Not Buddy. No. Okay. Some of you look at the assignment or you flip to the page and you don't read the directions on Edsby. Some of you are guilty of that. Okay. Read the directions, please. That's why I type them. All right, guys.
Bunton,
Yes?
I don't understand the sandwich guide.
Nope. I already spent 10 minutes typing you an answer. No, you can go and read the directions I put on ESB, and you can go and read again what I wrote to you on the message. And you can also look at page 81 because 81 is done correctly.
Okay.
So you need to try first. But if you didn't do page 74 correctly, you're not going to have a good time doing 82, 83, or 84. I'm going to warn you. Okay? All right, guys. Message me if you have any other questions. Bye.
Bye.